26D with ACT pipe and supply for reinforced concrete pipe, polyethylene, heavy wall concrete, corrugated PVC, and steel storm sewer pipe, aluminum structural plate, rubber gasket joint concrete pipe, three-sided concrete arch bridge systems for 1 year under the same terms and conditions.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item C, requesting approval to accept bids and award construction contract lowest bidder meeting all specification requirements for bid number 13-016-05-10 Hidalgo County Drainage Number 1, mile 17.5 road improvement project to FJW Construction LLC in the amount of $607,851. We had 4 bidders. FJW was $607,851. Geo Underground was $650,297.40. Ream Construction was $687,726.75, and McAllen Construction with $847,396. The low bidder was FJW with $607,851. We do have the letter of recommendation by the engineer of record.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 5, acceptance and approval of easement from Edinburgh Consolidated Independent School District as it relates to the Fayetteville Drain. Parcel 2, 0.861 acres, parcel of land being a portion of San Salvador del Tule Grant situated on Block 6 of Baker Subdivision, Volume 2, page 46. Basically, the school district granted an easement for the installation of a storm sewer pipe along their property.
Agreed. What's the amount of that?
There was no cost,
At no cost to the...
at no cost to the drainage district.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 6, approval of budget amendment to fund mile 17.5 road improvement project as per interlocal agreement approved 3/05/13 in the amount of $607,851. This is the interlocal with the Edinburgh School District. They're basically reimbursing us 100% for the cost of the project. We were just basically managing the project for them.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
We do have an item in the closed session for the board to consider.
So moved.
Pursuant to 55107-1 and 072, need a motion to proceed to executive session.
Second.
And a second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Listo?
Dale, va.
All right, we're reconvening our Drainage District Board of Directors meeting for today, June 18th, 2013. Mr. Garza?
We will proceed as directed from the Board of Directors on the item in closed session.
All right, sir. Anything else?
That is it, sir.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much, Judge Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. All right, at this time, we're going to be convening our regular Hidalgo County Commissioners Court meeting for today, June 18, 2013. Present are Commissioner Cuella, Precinct 1, Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. At this time, I would call on our Sergeant Benito Alanis from VFW Post 7473 in Elsa for the presentation of colors, along with Commander David Montemayor. Permission granted.
Reserve arms! I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may retrieve the colors. Permission to retrieve our colors?
Yes, sir.
Order, arms. As you were.
Ms. Townsend?
Dear Father in heaven, be with us this day. Help us in all the business of the county. Help us all work together. Special blessings on the Cardoza family, and have us always mindful of the veterans and how much they've contributed to keep us free. Please bless our nation, bless our state, bless our county, and bless our families. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. Karina, I'm gonna recognize Judge Reyna first. We have the judge of the 206th District Court here, the Honorable Rose Reyna, on item 9A, I believe, Judge.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me to go out of order. And Ms. Hinojosa is really here on behalf of the District Clerk's Office requesting some additional staffing. This arises out of the hailstorm cases that Hidalgo County suffered last year in March and April. And there's been a tremendous influx of filing of lawsuits that necessitates some additional people power, not manpower, but people power in the District Clerk's Office. I am not here yet requesting any additional staff in my courtroom, but here in support of the District Clerk's Office. We've been working very diligently with the Clerk's Office, the IT department, to handle this tremendous impact of over 1,500 cases in a very, very short period of time on top of the regular cases that are being filed in Hidalgo County. So with that, I'd like to have Ms. Hinojosa address, and if there's any particular questions about the cases and the filings that I can publicly answer, since the cases are pending, I'll be more than happy to. One of the things that necessitated this was that there's a procedure where the parties involved can request from a state entity called an MDL panel that all the cases be assigned to a particular court. And because of that ruling from an MDL panel, as well as our local board of judges, I'm handling all the Hailstorm cases, so that is why I'm here in tremendous support of the request being made. Ms. Hinojosa.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning.
Good morning.
As Judge mentioned, we have a huge influx of cases in Hidalgo County. As of June 18th, we have 2,972 new filings. Those new filings don't include all of the subsequent filings that come associated with that. In addition to a number of these cases, it's not just two parties involved. You've got the plaintiff suing 5 other entities, and we need help. It is of utmost importance to be able to provide the service that we need to provide to our taxpayers and help the 206 District Court.
Are you seeking these 2 positions for a year or permanent, or?
Judge, it's hard to say. I know that Judge Rose has said that with pretrial issues, she foresees these issues taking minimally 3 years. The prior MDL case that Hidalgo County had, which Judge Rose also was part of, took 3 years to finish just pretrial, although Judge seems to think it may take longer than 3 years. So currently, we know it will be at least 3 years. I can tell you that we have assessed $832,000, well, $833,000 just in less than a year.
Would it help you if we set temporary jobs and they can look at what transpires?
I'm sorry, Commissioner, I can't hear
If
you.
we create a temporary jobs, permanent,
Well, Commissioner, temporary, as you know, is only 6 months, and there's no way that this is something that's going to be a temporary position. There's absolutely no way that these are temporary positions.
Judge, do we have funds for this, Valde? Can we get funds for this?
I'm sorry,
Can we
Commissioner?
get funds for this? No.
Well, depending on the court's action.
Yeah, but if we, you know, if
We would address the funding. We
Judge,
would
in
address
light of the
funding.
demand and obviously the need for at least minimal 3 years, I'd like to make a motion for approval of 9A, 1, 2, and 3.
Second?
now, this isn't going to impact on the budget, is it? Valde?
I'm sorry, Commissioner?
It's not going to impact, and I'm not picking on you, I'm picking on the
No, Commissioner, as, if I may interject, I did present an analysis to Mr. Cruz with regards to how much has been assessed and paid, and there will be no impact to y'all, to the budget with this. It has more than paid for itself, and if I could request 4 people, I would be requesting 4 people. The number of documents that are generated for these cases is something that we've never seen. Where we used to have with e-filing, we used to have 2 people who could address e-filings, maybe 10 per hour. There are now 12 people that have been taken from their duties that are handling this on any given day. And I'm not exaggerating, we've got a storage box at least this big of documents that need to be entered, scanned, filed away, and prepared for these MDL cases. We have received anywhere from 400 to 600 e-filings per day. When I tell you that I'm asking for 2, it's a small Band-Aid for what Hidalgo County is dealing with at this time. We've got enough filings to constitute a whole new court. We've got enough hailstorm filings. We have more hailstorm filings than some courts have active cases. Again, when I'm asking for 2 people, I should be asking for 4, but I figured y'all would just laugh me out of court asking for 4 people. So I am humbly asking for 2. In addition.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Does that apply to 1, 2, and 3?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Judge, thank you.
Thank you very much, and
And
thank you for...
good luck. I don't know how you got the nod, but
Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it. And thank you for taking us out of order. Thank you.
all right, at this time, we would move on to item 6B, a resolution honoring U.S. Army Specialist Kevin Cardoza. We are honored to have his family here with us this morning so that we can honor the memory of this young man. Go ahead.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Karina Cardoza with the Public Affairs Division. Yes, we are greatly honored to have the family of U.S. Army Specialist Kevin Cardoza present with us today so that we can recognize and honor his legacy. As you are aware, Specialist Cardoza was killed in action in Afghanistan in May. And on behalf of Hidalgo County, we wanted to recognize the family with this resolution. I'm going to ask that the family please stand and be recognized and come up and join me at the podium. His family present here today are his parents, Ramiro Cardoza Sr. and Maria Cardoza, his siblings, Ramiro Cardoza Jr., his wife Jessica, and their son Ryan, his sibling Michael and Leslie, and we also have his aunt, Ms. Esther Lopez, and his cousin, Joseph Lopez, present with us today. And I'm going to show a brief video that was done courtesy of the Monitor, and they allowed us to show this. I know I was told that the audio is a little off, but we hope that you will appreciate the images.
He was a very brave young man. He was a good kid, always with a smile. He was one of those kids that anything you wanted, anything you asked for, he'd do it. He'd run to do it. He grew up. We all grew.
It's okay, take your time.
All our kids grew up together. All the cousins in the same area, playing together. He was one of the older kids, but one of the smaller ones. But he always kept up with the big boys because he had a big heart. He was very courageous, very strong, very tough. He knew from a very young age that he wanted to be in the Army, and he wanted to fight because this generation that grew up with the war. He was well aware of what was going on, and he was proud. He was proud to be an American, and he was proud of the colors, the red, white, and blue, and he knew he wanted to serve his country. They used to play with guns, and he would always say that someday he was going to be holding a real gun.
Thank you for sharing that. And if I may, I read the resolution. Resolution in honor of U.S. Army Specialist Kevin Cardoza. Whereas Hidalgo County joins the rest of the nation, the state of Texas, the Rio Grande Valley, and the friends and loved ones of U.S. Army Specialist Kevin Cardoza of Mercedes in mourning the untimely loss of this brave young man who was killed in action on Saturday, May 4th, 2013 in Afghanistan. And whereas Specialist Cardoza lived on the rural road named after his grandfather, Joel Cardoza, in Mercedes, Texas, and attended at Cauchelsa High School. He enlisted in the U.S. Army after graduation in 2011 and was assigned to the 1st Brigade Combat Team, 1st Armored Division in Fort Bliss, Texas. And whereas it was Specialist Cardoza's lifelong dream to join the armed forces, and he was halfway through a 9-month tour in the Kandahar, Afghanistan province, when the vehicle he and 4 other soldiers from Fort Bliss were traveling in was hit by a roadside bomb. and Specialist Cardosa died from injuries sustained in this tragic accident. And whereas the 19-year-old was a dedicated father, son, brother, and uncle, and has left behind a legacy that will be treasured forever by his family, his friends, and his loved ones. And whereas Specialist Cardosa is survived by his 2 daughters, Delilah Neve and Melanie Renee Cardosa, his parents, Ramiro Cardosa Sr. and Maria Cardosa, 3 siblings, Ramiro Cardosa Jr., Michael Cardosa, and Leslie Lisette Cardosa, paternal grandmother, Eduarda Cardosa, maternal grandparents, Maria Belen and Hector de la Cruz, sister-in-law, Jessica Rodriguez, nephews, Ramiro Cardosa III and Ryan James Cardosa. And whereas Specialist Cardosa will forever be remembered as a young man filled with the courage, strength, and compassion to fulfill a mission of serving the United States of America, his dedication and commitment will be forever remembered. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court hereby recognizes and pays tribute to the life and legacy of Army Specialist Kevin Cardosa and honors him and his family for his patriotic service and ultimate sacrifice, which will never be forgotten. Approved this 18th day of June, 2013.
Move to approval.
Second.
And those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously.
Judge, Commissioners, and general public, at this time, on behalf of Hidalgo County, we would like to present the family with 3 framed pictures of Specialist Kevin Cardosa. First, we'll do the parents. And we're gonna present 2 more for his daughters. We'd like to also thank all our veterans that are here today and showing support for the family. And of course, our condolences and our prayers will always be with the Cardosa family. Thank you.
As I understand it, we have with us today the members of America's Last Patrol and members of the American GI Forum and members of the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 7473 in Elsa, Texas. Welcome.
Thank you, VFW 7473, for being here with us today and being part of our ceremony. Thank you for all your service.
Mr. Cardosa, we want to thank you and your family for the sacrifices that you're going through. And we want to thank you for giving us this opportunity to acknowledge the sacrifice of your son and express our gratitude in behalf of the county. Vamos, vamos. We will now move on to item 4, approval of our consent agenda.
Judge, I don't have any concerns, so I recommend approval if no one else has any.
Move for approval.
Let's write that date down.
Gonna have it right.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Under open forum, Opal Billman.
Good morning. My name is Opal Billman. I was sued for divorce in Hidalgo County. Duty of the judge was to issue a fair division of private property owned jointly and undivided by Joe and me. To Joe and me. Nobody else. No one owns any of this debt-free community property. There is no law that gives the judge the authority to take our private property as if it is his, to do with as he pleases, and claim he has the discretion to do so. The judge cannot bequeath property that he does not own. The judge cannot determine who is to inherit land that belongs to Joe and me. In this country, Joe and I get to do that. The judge appointed a beneficiary for all of our community property, therefore giving everything we worked for and own to somebody we don't know for free. We just have to die first. Claiming to be the beneficiary, the court-appointed beneficiary claimed our community property years ago. Would you think my life might be at risk? I would. There was no division of our community property. No value was given to it. It was kept intact and gifted to someone else. State law is the case was to be dismissed April 24th, 2003. State law passes Joe's property to his 3 kids and my community property to me, undivided. The 72 acres of land with capital improvements has 4 owners and 3 heirs, the adult children of Joe and me. Continuance of this case is barratry, and I am being held in police-enforced false imprisonment in the United States of America. Thank you for your time.
All right, under item 6. Nothing under 6A, or is there anything?
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Just wanted to report that the special session is still in taking issues on redistricting and some other transportation issues. We do want to report that House Bill 2094, which is the roadside vendor bill, was signed by the governor on Monday. I've been in contact with our planning department and our health department on providing some kind of a policy so we can put that into play. As you recall, the roadside vendor bill allows Commissioners Court to regulate the sale of foods, items, and live animals along the roadsides. So if y'all have any questions, that's all I have to report. Thank you.
Well, does it apply throughout the county or outside the urban centers?
It applies to a county with a population over 700,000, so it does apply to the entire county, Judge.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Item 6C. Yes, ma'am.
They're taking up another important issue for me and for a lot of people in Texas. It's SB 5, having to do with abortion clinics. And I am so sorry to have to say that doesn't seem to be much of a priority for our senators, the people who represent us. It's life and death. It's so much more important than anything to do with anything else, including transportation, because it's the lives of unborn babies that we're talking about. But it doesn't seem to be a priority, and I'm sorry about that. It should be, and we should really, really care about SB 5, but I'll bet you it doesn't go anywhere. Because our strongest person, who is one of the 10 best, is our Chuy Hinojosa, and I don't believe it's a priority with him. But I hate to say that, because I wish it were. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 6C.
Item 6C, Judge Jaime Longoria with the County Judge's Office. Authorization for the county judge to sign and submit the ASAP Officials Update Form as per the Department of Energy grant requirements and designate points of contact. Judge, Commissioners, I know that the auditor had a concern. We went ahead and placed this form, the filled-out form, on the website late yesterday afternoon. It designates myself, Jaime Longoria, and Roland Garcia from the Office of Budget as the points of contact, and of course, Judge Ramon Garcia being the head of organization. So we need authorization for that.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners.
Item 7.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. There's no action under item 7A, 1 and 2, unless there's action to be taken further down the agenda. Judge, under item 7B, which is the reports on the former administration buildings, first and second floors, update on our portable buildings, and any emerging situations. Judge, Commissioners, as an update and to the court as well as to our constituents, the piers for the cameras and lights were completed over the weekend. So that's been established. The finish out for the motors on the gate system is being done this week. And all the fire extinguishers were installed, as I reported last week. We were expecting them last week. They were installed and inspected. That's been fulfilled. And so this week we will be at the City of Edinburg to get our temporary occupancy permit. And that will begin the moving process. And the reason we're getting a temporary is to have the transition start. Once we have everything moved in, then we'll go back to the city for a final occupancy permit. So, Judge, Commissioners, we are at the end of this project. And so we will shortly have our courts moved in to that area. With that being said, that will free up the old administration buildings, first and second floor, so that we can start the renovation construction project at that building, so that we can move along with that project as well.
Mr. Guerra, do we have any kind of a schedule for the renovations of the old administration building?
I've worked with purchasing department. We did meet, I don't know if Marty has the current schedule for the old administration renovation. There is a timeline. Marty, do you have that timeline? We did discuss that last week in preparation for the completion of this project, which is where we're at. I know that we have been communicating with, I believe it's D. Wilson Construction with respect to the bid.
Construction has been briefed as we've moved along. They have held their bid price. I believe from start to finish, it would probably be 15 to 18 months.
Okay.
Because it is complete renovation of the first and second for the district attorney, and then the commissioner's courtroom facility will remain there.
Yes. And we do have the budget set aside for this project. That was one of our concerns, but D. Wilson has held their bid price.
What I understand then is we're going to continue to be here. We're going to have to hold our meetings here.
Yes, for a short while.
Or some other place that you can find, but yes.
No, but
No, sir.
realistically, we have a meeting scheduled every week.
Correct.
And these facilities will not be available for 18 months or up to 18 months.
I don't know what our current agreement is for, but I do believe it has a renewal.
It does have a renewal clause, but Judge, Commissioners, if you all recall, I have been working individually with the precincts. We were talking about doing a roving court. I know that we have right now, here in Edinburg would be here. I know that at Precinct 3 we have an area that we could have the court. I'm trying to finalize an area at your office, Commissioner. I've been working with Mr. Silguero, and I'm also working with
Commissioner Brea.
with Mr. Lozano for an area in Precinct 1.
Tell us what you're looking for.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes.
We would send out some information as to any option that we can find that would give us some additional places to
Right.
hold Commissioners Court. We'd also had some legal review of that possibility.
Right.
All right.
I will tell you that we have not officially issued the notice to proceed to Wilson. That is what they're waiting for. So I think within a week or so, we're going to have a much better date that we can officially put on the agenda to issue the notice to proceed to them.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners, that's all I have to report today. Oh, and as far as any emergencies, there's been, nothing has occurred since our last meeting.
What was that, Buddy?
Under the emergency item, just to clarify, there's been nothing that has
All right.
occurred since our
Then
last
let's
meeting.
move on to item 8A, Constable Precinct 1.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning, sir.
I only have one quick item. Request your approval to pay the following claim invoice with authority for the county treasurer to issue a check after review and auditing procedures are completed by the county auditor. It's Video Selling Light Enterprises for the amount of $244.60.
Judge, we have preliminary reviewed the documentation, and based on the information we have, we cannot issue payment on this claim.
You cannot?
I cannot, right.
What are we lacking of here?
What happened is the precinct or the constable's office procured the goods and services prior to getting a purchase order from the purchasing department.
Marty?
I had my staff looking into this late yesterday afternoon. I was going to discuss it with the constable, Avila. This is Precinct 1, correct?
Precinct 1, yes, ma'am.
I need to know, one factor I do not know, was this a work stoppage situation? If I can have some determination or some facts from the constable, if it was indeed a work stoppage, then I will have the discretion to issue. I think that would help you in making the payment, because the PO was issued unbeknown to us that the work had already been done. However, if it was a work stoppage situation, that would, I think, allow Mr. Ufracio to relook at it.
Yeah, correct. Maria, I think we having this kind of claims almost like every month, so I don't know how we can address that.
We address it through education. We address it, every vendor in this county, when they receive a PO in this particular phase, receives a memo that instructs them that no work can be, either work or products or services can be rendered without an official bona fide purchase order. That goes out with every purchase order. The staff, we did hire an additional member to our staff that is going to concentrate on more education of the precinct personnel. I believe sometimes the seriousness of the position on someone delegated the authority to request purchase orders is not considered priority, and so you have a constant turnover of people, or that those duties are spread among a lot of people that don't understand the process. So we have made it a point to initiate and start having a more timely schedule of education with those people that are given that function.
I think for this particular vendor, we have claims on a regular basis. Perhaps we need to communicate with the vendor and instruct the vendor that we're not going to be able to pay if he doesn't.
Correct. I will make that effort, but like I say, every vendor in this county receives, along with a purchase order, the memo that instructs them that they cannot proceed to do work or release goods without a purchase order. But like I say, I'm going to speak to the constable today. If a work stoppage situation was the issue, I'll have them submit a memo to me. I'll forward it to you so that perhaps that will allow the payment of this.
Right. So Judge, at this point, I recommend no action. I won't be able to process payment at this point.
What do we need to do to?
Let's
What
put
needs
it
to
this
happen is
way.
what Marty explained, that she needs to,
If indeed it was a work stoppage issue, then I can forward that to Mr. Horacio, and we may not have to return to court. I will keep you
otherwise I won't
advised.
be able to pay.
Otherwise, you put it in the form of a claim or something.
This
so we
is
can
the claim.
address it.
This
is the claim.
He's saying that in spite of the claim that you're accepting, he will not pay it, because the PO was obtained after the fact. But however, one factor that I'm not aware of, but I need to speak to the constable, is was this a work stoppage issue, that the repair had to be done? Then I will get a memo from them. If they confirm that, then I will forward that to Mr. Horacio, and I believe that should
Why
help
don't
the
you get
situation.
some of the circumstances, who ordered it, why didn't they get a PO, and that kind of thing? So
We
can-
started doing that yesterday, yes,
Judge,
when I
I'd
saw it on the
recommend
agenda.
court- I'd recommend the court go ahead and approve the claim.
Subject to.
I'd recommend the court go ahead and approve the claim with no subject to.
If you approve it, I won't be able to pay, Judge, just,
Well, you won't, you will be able to pay if she satisfies you with the work stoppage order, so that will
After
not
she
delay
works it
it.
out.
well, but if she can confirm there's work stoppage, there's no need for court to approve a claim. I can just pay the,
Well, it
The
would be
invoice.
part of this process anyway, that it was presented, it was approved. We respect the fact that he says he can't pay it, but let me look into that. I would do it also subject to
Can we do
my...
that subject to?
Yes, sir. I would suggest that's the way it...
So that we don't
I
have to
concur
bring it
with
back,
Mr.
sir?
I concur with Mr. Crane.
All right.
Motion for approval?
Second.
All right, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. And before we go any further, I need to make one quick call, and we're missing one commissioner. We're going to take about a 5-minute recess.
morning, how you doing?
Does it say unofficial on there? It says unofficial.
Can you get Tito in here so we can start? At this time, we're reconvening our Commissioners Court meeting. We move on to item 9B as in boy, our tax office.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. I'm here on behalf of the tax office. Approval of the following personnel actions. Do you want me to go ahead and read it, or I'll have Paul present it because he wanted to make some comments?
All right.
Okay, under slot 009, Computer Systems Administrator, they want to reduce the budgeted salary and remove auto allowance. Budgeted salary is $49,264, and the auto allowance is $1,500. Proposed salary is $40,000. Slot 24, Deputy Clerk 2, reduces budgeted salary from $36,020 to $26,020.
These are all vacant positions. is
Yes,
that
sir,
correct?
those two are.
Okay, just to make sure.
Slot 008, Accountant 4, they want a salary increase from $52,000 to $54,002. Slot 128, Administrative Assistant 3, a salary increase and add the car allowance to this position from $32,960 to $34,005, and the allowance at $1,500. Slot 0018, Deputy Clerk 3, salary increase from $40,347 to $42,566. Slot 0057, Deputy Clerk 1, salary increase from $27,213 to $29,213. And then slots 84, 88, 96, 100, 117, and 133, all Deputy Clerk 1's salary increases from $26,014 to $28,014.
What is our policy on pay raises in the middle of the year?
I would have to refer to legal.
Your pay rate is going to be to take effect January 1st of each calendar year unless you are assigning additional duties or responsibilities to that position.
And we've been through that. I mean, some of the reasons of additional duties that were given sometimes lacked some merit, but
Judge, to answer your question, it's really a factual determination for the court to determine if those really are additional duties and if they justify that amount.
All right.
Esther, is that the county's HR policy on pay raises?
Well,
Yes.
I know that, I thought we had a policy that allowed Balde an opportunity to, if it was simply a request for a pay raise, it stopped with him, or could stop with him.
No, that unfortunately, Judge, that policy that was discussed a few months ago didn't materialize. Where's Sergio?
Did we act on it?
There was,
You did?
Sergio, it was subject to something, and it's been such a...
Subject to what?
It was subject to something, it's been a few months, I just don't... That financial policy, do you recall?
Yes, sir. That financial policy was approved subject to legal review. Mr. Crane reviewed it, and there was a part of that policy that could be construed as being unconstitutional regarding the placement of items on the agenda. So at that point, we would need to...
So why weren't we told so we could address that part of it?
We can remove that language. I mean, basically, the revision that Mr. Crane had put is basically just off of the statute. So at that point, we're going to be only following the statute. I don't necessarily think that we would need to have a separate policy for that.
The question that I'll have is the consistency, because in the past, if you follow different agendas, there has been increases.
Yes, sir.
Issue number one. Issue number two, in this case, I see a reduction of $20,764 and an addition of $18,245, which is less than what he's reduced his budget by. The increases are moderate to some regard. I don't see a large amount. I'm still not ready to comment. My first question would be, Are they vacant positions or not on these increases?
There's two vacant positions.
Not the other
Not the
positions,
increases.
just the
Not
first.
the increases?
Yes.
The first two are, but not the rest of them. They're
The
all-
positions being reduced are vacant, however, the increases are to existing positions that have filled employees.
Right.
My only concern is that every department that we have here in this county will probably find a way to have a little money left over for budget. And if we're going to be allowing them to just give it out as pay raises without it going through the budget process, it kind of defeats the purpose.
Could we allow you to defend?
Yes, of course, I'm looking forward to this. Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning.
I mean, every department that comes in here, normally, they come over here because we do the collections and that money goes to their budget. So I can see where, I respect whatever other departments do. But what we're doing here, the reason we're consolidation of reducing from 2 supervisors to 1 supervisor in the mission office. Commissioner here, Flores is not here, but they always keep commenting that office is the second largest office that we have that brings in the most revenue for our county. And so what we're trying to do is, every other office that we have 1 supervisor assigned to motor vehicle and tax, and we're trying to do the same. The person that's no longer there, we're taking that position and reducing it. So now we're going to go ahead and create 1 position for that supervisor where we're going to give them additional workload, additional responsibilities, and of course, more auditing that they have to do. So now, the head cashiers are going to go ahead and take the workload of the tax side. So we're gonna have 1 supervisor overseeing that. So that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to see with that money that's left, if we can go ahead and provide. Now, there's no budget impact. There's no money. We're not asking you for no money from anywhere. It's within our salary. So what we're trying to do is trying to make sure that we try to do better customer service in that office. As you all know, if you go to our office right now, I mean, our registration right now, as far as registered vehicles, is 529,000. So that's about 40,000 per month. And that was not including scufflaw. That's another close to 200,000 that these people are doing additionally workload. At that time, of course, we didn't ask for any additional monies or salaries for those people. Right now, this is no budget impact, so it would definitely help us out if we're able to change the shift the workload to these people and try to provide the services with one supervisor.
Paul, the comment or the question that I would have, there you got Deputy Clerk 1 and Deputy Clerk 3. In your entire department, would that pose a problem that you're increasing some in regards to parity, where someone would argue that's a Deputy 1 or a Deputy 3, that they're doing equal to work, yet because they're in the mission office, they're getting an increase?
Well, right now, that's one of our, mission is the second largest office that we have in the county, so there's additional workload there. The other offices are smaller, so, we'll work with them, when the budget process comes around. But right now, being that we're not taking any money from the general fund, it's just what we have in place, and we're shifting the workload, and in order for us to provide that service better, then we need to allow that compensation for these employees.
99% of the time, people are working within their budget. Somebody leaves, creates a vacancy, they spread the money around. That's the way it has been year after year after year, where we're trying to change that.
Right.
And I know we passed a policy, but I understand now, 6 months later, that the legal had an objection to it. It takes a while for us to learn about that, but I think we need to address that policy and have the entire court present and voting on it, because this has the potential of impacting. The next thing we're going to hear is all the different department heads from the county clerk district. I mean, everybody can justify the hard work that their employees are doing.
Correct.
And that's the only concern I have. I mean, I don't think you're paying enough. 26,000 for the work that they do.
That is true. We're not paying enough. I think our office is the lowest.
Why not address it in the budget process as opposed to getting a pay raise in the middle of the year?
Right. Well, I know that it's happened throughout the years. I've been here basically almost 27 years. And I guess we just came out at the wrong time, because this is the first time that I come over here to try to see if we can just reduce that salary and try to see if we can add it to the rest of the employees that are going to do that additional workload. And that's pretty much why I'm here. I know that I've seen this happen time after time. And right now, it's like I said, well, if it doesn't have any budget impact, hopefully, with your approval, it could be passed. But if there's something there that you need to look at, then let's do it. But of course, I mean, I'll let you know that now that I'm the new tax assessor collector, I started back in 1985, and we were understaffed at that time, and we're still understaffed right now. Every time right now, we'll have 4, 5, 6 employees that couldn't come in because they're sick or something happened. So what we have to do is always send people everywhere, and we're always low in our area. People come complaining to our office that we're taking too long. Well, I mean, it's like I've always said to somebody, how would you like to go to Papa Do's at lunchtime when it's so full and you only have 3 waiters to take care of you? You're not going to have enough time to eat. You're going to have to go. And that's the way sometimes we feel, because I only have 143 employees, and not all of them are in the, manning the counter.
Well, should you be addressing the number of waiters as opposed to overworking the ones that are there?
I'm telling you that when you have 529,000 registered vehicles and you only have, say, for example, in the motor vehicle side, maybe about 30 working on that, it's overwhelming, and we can't provide that service faster for our taxpayers to where we can go ahead. So every time that I have a chance, I always tell them that I appreciate their patience, because we're just trying to work as hard as we can with the people that we have. This one here, it had no budget impact. It's just pretty much trying to reduce and try to see if we can assign that workload, more responsibilities. So that's why we're here. But if you see that we need to wait, then at that time, I guess when you have the full commission, then at that time we'll do it. But I wanted to make a presentation because definitely I got to come back and address other things that that are really impacting our office, with things that we need in order to operate, for the rest of the year. So,
Judge.
Paul, I was going to ask you on 0024, that's Deputy Clerk 2.
Okay.
And it's 26 proposed. The proposed is 26. And then you go down to 0057 and down, and it's Deputy Clerk 1, and it's more than the Deputy 2.
Okay, let's see. You're saying
the comparison between Deputy Clerk 1, they're going to end up at 28,000, just to take some as an example. And then you're going to have a Deputy Clerk 2 on item slot number 24. It's going to be at 26.
So the 2 making less than the one?
I believe that the ones that are going to make a little bit more, those are the people that we're right now using to go to every office, to go ahead and man the difference, because somebody's not there. So when we ask them to show up in Westlaco and then show up in Mission, there's really, there's no car allowance for these people. So we have to have some floaters to where they can go ahead and man that position out there so we can try to keep that service going.
Ms. Townsend, I know you stood up. I don't know if you want to address the court or.
I don't think Paul needs anybody to fight his battle for him. However, we're always saying Paul should come over and fight harder, because we get a lot of calls, some from customers who say it just takes too long, it's not organized, those people there needs to be more people taking care of this. Now, Scofflaw, I told you that, threw it all on their department, and they've got more work to do, and it's harder, and I just think we have been neglecting the tax office for a long time. And I've been here a long time and watched it, and they haven't complained a whole lot, and we always thought they should have complained more, because we get telephone calls from people who work there, and we get telephone calls from customers. So needs to have, I don't think they waste time over there.
And I think in the spirit of what Paul's trying to do is what we'd encourage every department to do is look within. And I understand the judge's sentiments regarding that. That's the methodology used when wanting to increase slots. But in this case, I agree with you, Virginia. If you look at the salaries, they're pretty much. I didn't realize they were only making that much. And with the responsibility of caring for the tax dollars that are coming in, and the increase is extremely moderate. Judge, I also do agree, there's 3 members here present. So I'm in support of it. I just, I don't know, Judge, if you want to
wanna
allow
wait
us to
till
vote
the
now or
full
wait for
board,
the
or-
others to be here.
I think the entire court needs to be, look, if we allow this, then we're going to be getting other department heads coming in with the same rationale. And it's a good rationale. We have many underpaid employees. We need to bring them up to par with whatever the market is. But we either have a policy that we adopted or we don't. And if we do have one and a certain section of it may have been non-constitutional, we need to adopt the balance of it. That may still be enforced. But in any event, I think we need the entire court because of the potential that this has to affecting the rest of the county.
That's true, and I'm one of those that says when somebody signs on to work, you know what your salary is going to be, so you shouldn't really complain. But if the rest of the court does not, I think people should come. You know, I think the commissioners show up. I don't cut a whole lot of slack about commissioners not showing up to get work done. And also, we didn't get much done on time today. We didn't start right, but anyhow.
And we started at 9 o'clock. 9:05, we were through before 9:30.
You guys, your idea of, well, I mean, the judge was here and she was saying, I thought they were supposed to start. I said, yeah, but they don't always
Virginia,
start.
it was 9:34 when I opened up the meeting.
I know that for the regular meeting. You weren't here on
Right.
time for drainage. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, I can see why Paul is here early. He's getting here before the influx of all the rest. And if they can justify in the budget process what they say they need, fine. But I don't think a lot of departments can't justify it. And you're going to have to be strong enough to say, well, just because we did it for the tax office, we're not going to automatically do it for everybody else, and just be strong enough to say you don't, it doesn't make sense. You can't do it.
And that's where I agree. I think that, Valda, if you can do your sense of working with Paul and figure out, at the end of the day, I'm in support of the item. I think that they don't get paid enough. I think we should take it by a case-by-case nature, not just a blanket policy and it pertains to all, because at the end of the day, I think there's a lot of areas where we're weak on, and other areas that we're pretty inflated, but.
And you know, I'm here because I've always been known to be a gentleman with everybody that I meet and anybody that I treat with respect. So I can appreciate what the judge is saying. You know, I can see, I'm an elected official too, so I can see where, you know, you have to defend, you know, your, pretty much the procedures, and I appreciate that, okay? I don't have any problems with that. Only thing is that the tax office never comes around here to ask for anything, especially when there's no budget impact. I mean, I've been there for, like I said, 27 years, never come around to ask for nothing. All we do is when you make a motion and second, and then you adopt the budget, then I get the whole load of the tax statements, over 330-some statements that I have to collect, $169 million, so every department can have their funding. So when we come over here, I'm not asking for luxury. All I'm saying is, if you're able to provide me what I need, then I'm going to do the customer service that I need to do. And if not, then we'll have people that complain. Of course, you know, I'm going to come back later on and say, you know what, I did, Armando, when he was here, he took over approximately 200,000 citations, scofflaw. They gave us 2 people. We have them right in the front of the counter here at our administration office. Those 2 people are actually asking for people, do you have your driver license? Let me check to see if there's any tickets. And then the rest of the office is doing the work for free. You know, that was never part of the tax office. Now, right now, I'm proud to say that we're actually close to about $1 million in collections. We're not getting anything, none of that, it's just free work. But guess what? You got a tax assessor collector that says, you know what, I want to do what's best for the county, I'm going to have my employees work, hopefully later on, you know, we'll come back and get a little bit more money. Like I said, and I don't like to discuss anything about any other department because I appreciate everything they do just like what we do. But of course, if you go to work at our office, you're going to get $26,000. And you're going to have to do all the work, see that those people are there every day from 8 to 5, everybody complaining, some people are nice, but we're getting the job done. You go somewhere else, you're gonna get $30, $40, $50,000 where you don't have to, take care of a customer or generate any revenue. I mean, I would like to do that myself, or maybe, but the thing is that we got some people that are working very hard. I got my supervisor, my chief deputy, my employees. I was working hard. And right now, this here is pretty much, we're just trying to see how we can reevaluate that office in Mission to where we can provide that better service. But if we need to bring it back next week when everybody's in here, then we can do that. I just want to, let you know what is it that we do. Anything you need as far as funds is concerned, if it's road and bridge, we'll collect it. If it's RMA, we collect it. If it's anything else you want, we collect it. So by the time when we come back here next month and make our presentation, and we collected over $160 million, I think that's pretty impressive, because we're like 6th, 7th largest county in the state. And everybody that we deal with and somewhere throughout the counties in the state, I had a conference, they always admire what we're doing over here. And we never tell them that when we're working with understaffed. We just work every day. It doesn't matter. The only thing is that what we need to do in the future is trying to see how I can compensate our employees, because they deserve a little bit more money, because our county is pretty stable. Our county is pretty stable. My thing to do every year is work hard to bring in the revenues, to make sure that you don't raise the tax rate, because there's money there there's no need for you, if you need to raise the tax rate, because we're bringing enough money. The county looks good, commissioners court, judge, everybody looks good. That's what I do. That's my main thing, and I always try to treat our taxpayers and my staff with respect. So if we need to do this next week, then we'll bring it back. Hopefully you'll have a full staff. Everybody's, they're busy sometimes, or they have responsibilities in their precincts. But just to let you know a little bit about, hopefully I'll be coming back more often. We need a lot of things in our office that we need to be funded in order to cover the rest of the year. But like I said, I never come here for any luxury. I'm not trying to do anything different. The only thing is what we're trying to do is we're trying to reorganize that office to try to provide that better service. But like I said, I can see the judge's comment, and I respect that. There's nothing you can tell me that I will always respect it, but there's always a way to where we can try to figure out, if it's not this week, then we'll do it next week, and then we'll see what the rest of the commissioners say.
During the time that I've been here, I have voted for every salary increase that's been requested. I'm not against paying people well. In fact, I don't think we're paying some of these positions high enough.
Right.
That's not the issue.
Correct.
Every department in this county is important. They may not be collecting money, because they're providing another type of service, but they're all providing a service to our constituents, to our residents. And I feel that they're all as important, equally important.
Definitely.
And I think that what you're talking about should be addressed at the budget process. We're going to start next month.
Yeah, we're going to do that, definitely. But no, I understand, Judge, everybody's important, from, I guess, anything that moves, I respect that. Only thing is that sometimes I need to let the taxpayers know what we do. Because somebody comes to our office and they think, well, oh my God, it's so full. What are they doing here? Well, we're trying to provide the service, and at the same time, it's my responsibility to bring in that money so that department can go ahead and provide those services with those funds. So we're actually all work together, but I'm the one that brings in the revenue. So it's like I said, it's not to really go against anybody. I'm just letting everybody know what is it that I do with my staff in our office and provide the services. Because sometimes when I tell people that this is what we do in the tax office, and sometimes there's people out there that say, well, why is Paul saying that he collects for 539,000 registered vehicles? Why does he say that there's 330-some-thousand properties? Out of the 44 cities and schools, I collect for 41 with my staff. That's a big responsibility. It's over $1 billion that I generate in our office with my people, so the economy can be good for our cities, our schools, and the county. So the only reason I say that is because some people don't know, and if you were to be doing it yourself, you probably let people know too. But aside from that, Judge, appreciate your comments, and if we need to bring it back, Commissioner, I appreciate the questions. If we need to bring it back and take another approach, and I'll let we'll with all my respect, whatever you decide at that time, that's what we're going to be doing. I just wanted to make a little bit more comments of our needs that we need, right, just for this item.
Paul, there is a level of confidence that we have in you. We understand that we got to give you the opportunity to build efficiencies and make decisions like you're making. I'm in support of it, although I do agree we're missing 2 members of the court. It does open Pandora's box, but at the same time, I believe that the court needs to consider every case on a case-by-case nature, because it's hard to throw out the norm or the standard above all when the circumstances are completely different. I sat earlier in the week with the Elections Department, and they had their fair share of arguments that I do agree with. And so there's a bunch of examples throughout the county that I'm hoping to work with Valda and the court to figure out where the gaps are, where we underpaying, so that we can look more objectively this budget cycle.
Yeah.
So
right now,
level off everybody, you know.
yeah.
just-
And right now, I'm not here to be saying that we're underpaid or everything. You can see it yourself.
Right.
The only thing that I was here for was just to try to see if we can reevaluate the positions that we have and try to make sure that office in the Mission area, it's stable and it's ready to provide the services with the people that we have. Of course, we don't have enough people, but we always work hard at it, and in the future, we can get some more, and we would appreciate that. So pretty much if, like the judge said, if we need to bring it back next week, we'll be more than happy to. Or, if you need a little bit more time, but there's a time when somebody says, well, Paul, can you wait until the budget? Well, if the customer could say, can you come back next year, then it would be great, but those people are there every day, so you let me know how soon we can bring it back, and
I
then
think
we
the
can do
intent
it.
is to bring it back next week, so if we can just...
You think there'll be enough time?
Yeah, next week.
Okay.
Hopefully, the whole court will be here. I believe it's important enough to be addressed by everybody.
It'd be good if you can extend yourself to the other members that aren't here today, so that they can forecast the item being on the agenda.
Oh, definitely, no, thanks. I mean, it's like I said, I'm always here to work for you as far as what we do together for the county, and my staff working hard to bring in those revenues, and we'll do that. I guess if we need to do that next week, we'll put it back.
Bring
And
it
I think
on.
I have another item too.
We'll
Have
make a
another item.
decision next week.
Okay.
We appreciate the work that you do, though, and
Thank
all
you.
your staff.
I appreciate it too.
Thank you, Paul.
Yes, sir. I guess here for item 10A or.
All right.
Move for approval of item 10A.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Judge, Commissioners, just for the record, it was the increase in the change fund.
Valde, why don't you bring also next week that policy that we adopted?
Right.
If there's a portion that's found to be unconstitutional, take that out.
Right, Steve and I were actually discussing that as, yes, we've already
I
addressed
mean, we're
that.
either going to have a policy or we're not.
Right.
Item 11, our Sheriff's Office.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Richard Ozuna, Sheriff's Office, on behalf of Guadalupe Trevino, our Sheriff. Under 11A, it's approval to process the following Gregorio Pena III PhD invoices for psychological evaluation for new hires as claims with authority for the county treasurer to issue a check after auditing procedures are completed by our county auditor. This is something that was paid directly, and it's gotten to the point where we've already reached that limit. So actually, we're putting proposals together with the assistance of purchasing and coming back next week to go out for proposals. But for right now, the following invoices as claims, Judge.
Move for approval 11A.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under item B, it's approval to process the following AutoZone and O'Reilly Auto Part invoices as claims with authority for the county treasurer to issue a check after auditing procedures are completed by our county auditor. They're listed as below from O'Reilly's and AutoZone.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under item C, pursuant to the Hidalgo County Cellular Telephone Policy, Sprint contract DIR SDD 1780, presentation for consideration, acceptance, and approval of the cellular phone request form, the data card request for the below, under item 1. It's approval for requisition 237885 for 93 data link hosted access for vehicle modems at $47.99 each per month for 6 months.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And last item is D, is just authorization to accept the grant award. It's a justification notice in reference to the Local Border Security Program, the FY12, LBSP 12, and authorization and approval for the county judge as authorized official to sign the required document.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 12, our Health Department, no presentation. Item 13,
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Oscar Montoya, Emergency Management, Judge's Office. On the water program, I've invited Mr. Joe Barrera, the Executive Director of the Rio Grande Regional Water Authority, to give us an update. The water that has been falling is cause for celebration, but also cause for concern that the projects we're trying to work on to improve our situations may fall by the wayside. So we want to take this opportunity not only to advise the court, but also our constituents that we need to keep up the fight of trying to find alternate sources of water, and that's what Mr. Barrera is going to present, if you'll indulge us. Thank you.
good morning, Mr. Barrera.
Good morning. Thank you for letting me be here again, Commissioners, Judge. The water level at Falcon Lake has probably gone up 4 feet. There'll probably be some more runoff. But you have to remember that that doesn't really fix our problem. There was an article in the paper today by the weatherman that said that we're going to be in better shape than we were last summer. But last summer we hadn't used the reserve. The TCEQ used a lot of the reserve, so that has to be replaced. And also Mexico has a portion of this water that entered into Falcon Lake. I wish we could get it all. So we're still in a situation that we have to be very careful. The authority had a meeting similar to the one that Hidalgo County had. That was pretty successful. The difference was that when we had the one in Cameron County, the House Bill 4, Senate Bill 6 had passed. At the time we had ours, we were a little early. But letters have gone out to all the attendees asking for any improvement that they may have to bring to us so that we can start putting a master plan together. A similar thing was requested of the cities and water supply people, irrigation districts in Cameron County. The next move is Willacy County, Star Zapata, and then Webb County to do the same thing. The comment that was made in Austin not too long ago by one of the representatives, which will remain nameless, said that if we can manage to put this together, it'll be the first time the valley's ever come to them with a regional plan. It would probably go a long way to move us in front of the line. We need to remember that our irrigation districts are over 100 years old. And when the irrigation districts were all formed, cities weren't a big issue then. Cities are a bigger issue now than they've ever been, and they're going to continue to be so. So infrastructure for the irrigation districts, water supply corporations, and the cities is going to be very important to put everything together. And what I mean by that is we have some cities that don't have a problem. Brownsville, McAllen, Mission, some of the bigger cities have moved along. Some of those smaller cities have always relied on irrigation districts to do their planning for them. This plan we hope that we can put together all of these issues, the bigger cities, the cities with no problems, time together with the little cities, so we never have this issue again. We have to remember the cities still have water. The system is what's out of water. Hopefully this rain will solve that problem for us. Working hard, the authority is not going to give up the ghost on this one. You know, everybody thinks because it's rain, it may be over. But that's the time to do our improvements, not when we're in a drought. Same way with a flood. When it floods is not when you do your improvements. The flood tells you what was wrong, and then you go back in and fix it. So all I'm asking is support the petition that we have that we hope to get it to the President of the United States. You can find that on rgrwa.org. There's a petition box. You sign up. City of McAllen is going to put that on their website. I would encourage the county to do the same thing, commissioners, cities in your districts, if you would encourage them to do the same thing and then sign the petition. We had a little spurt here in the last 2 days. We've had over 600 people sign the petition, not only local people, but we've had people from out of the state that are Winter Texans sign the petition, which is really good that they're seeing that. So we're encouraged as an authority. We want to stay encouraged. We want to keep moving forward with the plan. And thanks to Oscar, I'll keep you updated on a regular basis. I hope to be invited back and let you know what we're doing and how we're doing it. COG's, meeting with the COG again Wednesday. They have pledged support. The partnership is the following week. They have pledged support. We just need to keep moving forward. Anything I can answer for you or do, just don't hesitate to get a hold of me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ferreira.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Also, I think it's important to note that historically, these plans have been put together. However, every time we get close to submitting them, a big rain event comes and the valley kind of forgets about what they were going through. So that's the reason behind the push, that this time we don't want to let it fall asleep. So thank you for the opportunity. Also, I have item 13B, authorization for county judge to sign and submit the 2013 eligibility certification for the Texas Homeland Security State Administrative Agency. Basically, that qualifies the County of Hidalgo for grants for the future dealing with Homeland Security.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless.
Item 14, facilities management.
Judge, Commissioners, we're asking approval for a commercial service application and service agreement with the City of McAllen Public Utility. This is to initiate utility services at 9805 North 10th Street, our building. I'm also asking authority to sign all pertinent documents as to the commercial service application and service agreement.
14A, 1 and 2.
Judge,
Thank you.
we were not able to verify there was legal review of this documentation.
I'm sorry, Mr. Frasso, I didn't.
Legal review is not verified. Steve, did you look at it?
No, sir, I believe on item A1, that is a standard form of utility connection used by the city of McAllen.
Right, yes.
All right.
Second.
Those in favor as to A1 and 2?
Yes, sir.
So you're saying there's no legal review necessary? It's just an agreement? It's a
I'm saying
document.
it's a standard form used by the city of McAllen for anybody who wants electrical service.
Okay.
I believe the Assistant District Attorney's Office reviewed the document.
That's correct, Commissioners. Judge, we did review the document.
It's a standard document.
So it has been reviewed by our legal
It
department?
had been reviewed. We're making one slight change. We don't think we're going to have any problems with that, so we're recommending approval.
Thank
So
you.
approve subject to change, to those changes, Judge?
Subject to
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And Judge, Commissioners, just for the record, the second one was for the waste collection services. Thank you.
Item 15,
None.
IT.
Sorry, that's mid.
Hello.
15A, I'm going to request no action. 15B, these are some long-distance claims. We're almost in the process of finishing that out. We're just closing, buttoning up the final claims. Approval on 15B.
Move for approval 15B.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
If I may, I'm going to request, we're going to skip over C because I believe this, oh, they're over here, I'm sorry. 15C, appointment of volunteer intern for summer 2013 at the IT department, Mr. Adriel Rios. Hope I said that correctly.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, judges and commissioners.
We're going to have Mr. Rios be stationed at the IT department. We're going to have him do some light IT work. We won't, get him to work too hard either, but just to give him some on-the-job experience. And we're excited about having the opportunity to teach a young person the skill to come to work. And we're planning to probably bring in another 2 interns during the summer.
Move for approval.
We're taking advantage of that.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Well, thank you for your initiative, your willingness to work, and hope you'll get something out of it, this experience here with the county this summer.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to take the HIDA 16A.
I'm sorry, did did we miss 15A or?
No action on
Oh,
15A.
no, okay,
No
no
action on
action.
15A, yes, sir. 16A, HIDA Task Force, these are some of their bills as well, phone bills as well, approving.
Move for approval of 16A.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
I will also take WIC, since I'm up here, 17A, their phone bill claims as well. We're almost there on the bill.
Move for approval of 17A.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item
Good morning,
17, for
Judge.
WIC program.
Yes, I'm requesting approval for one of my nutritionists, Kismet Leal, to apply and participate, if selected, in the Texas WIC dietetic internship for the period of January 2014 through 2015.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. No.
Urban.
Go ahead, sir.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. The first item is consideration and request of approval of a budget and program amendment for Hidalgo County Precinct Number 3, Year 16, 20, 21, and 22 work plans. The proposed amendment will reallocate funds in the total amount of $122,130 from the water and sewer improvements activity into the existing street improvements activity.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Next item is the Urban County Program is requesting the award of bids and approval of a contract with demolition and reconstruction of the following. Number one unit in the city of Mercedes, 1 unit in the city of Granjeno, in the amount of $99,360 to G&G Contractors.
Move for approval.
Judge, couple of comments on that particular item. One is a legal review. Second is funding information was not provided with that item.
Publishing information, what?
The legal review was not documented. This contract was not reviewed by legal. This is not documented in the agenda item.
Judge, this agreement has been in place since 2004. That's been approved by legal as to form. And it's the same legal document. All we do is change the name, the amount, the date. It's the same one since 2004.
What about
All
the
right.
funding, Mr. Barco? Is funding
Sir?
available for this item?
Sir?
Funding?
Is the funding available?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, normally it's documented in the agenda caption, but we didn't see it this time, but you
Yes,
got
it is,
sufficient
sir.
funding. All right, thank you.
All right.
Move for approval.
Need a second? Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Next item is Urban County Program is requesting approval of a best and final negotiated contract for professional appraisal services with Leonel Garza Jr. and Associates in the amount of $2,000 each for an estimated total of 8 parcels utilizing Texas General Land Office Round 2.2 funds for the Alberta Drain Project in Precinct Number 4.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Next item is City of Ed Couch and Urban County Program are requesting authorization to cancel an existing contract with Quintanilla Headley and Associates Incorporated in the amount of $8,650 for the 2011 Water Sewer Improvements Project. The city recently amended the project description to add a new SCADA system to the water treatment plant, therefore increasing the cost estimate by 65%. UCP's recommendation is to cancel the contract and re-evaluate for professional engineering services.
Move for approval.
Steve, have you looked at the contract?
I have not looked at well, let me restate that. I have not looked at their reasons for cancellation of the contract.
The reason being, again, is that the city has opted to do additional improvements, thereby raising the approximate estimate of the construction by over 65%. When anytime we go over 25% of an existing contract, we have to either cancel that, and we should cancel that, and that's what we're requesting right now. And reevaluate and do a new contract with that whomever is evaluated to be the number one professional service provider.
I'll check if it's subject to legal review.
We have a motion and a second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay. Next item is Urban County Program is requesting approval of a best and final negotiated contract for professional review appraisal services with HLH Appraisal Services in the amount of $450 each for an estimated total of 8 parcels utilizing Texas General Land Office Round 2.2 funds for the Alberta Drain Project in precinct number 4.
Move for approval.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 19, elections.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Item 19A, I would respectfully request that there be no action taken on the matter of vote centers. Although the Elections Department was more than ready to pursue this concept, this time that we have been working with this pilot program has allowed us the opportunity to realize that more time is needed. More time is needed to continue surveying the voters and the political subdivisions that will be involved with this endeavor. So I respectfully request no action to be taken.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. I would like to give Ms. Muniz an opportunity.
Thank you. I'll just make it real brief. I want to thank the Commissioners Court, which I was hoping that there'd be more committee members here, for putting this committee together. It was an eye-opening experience. A lot of times we go and vote and we take for granted what takes putting an election together, and it really helped us see a lot of things that we just weren't aware of. We want to thank Yvonne Ramon for keeping this committee going and the great job that she did, and her staff. They were just amazing in providing us with the information that we needed. So again, thank you to Commissioners Court for putting this committee together, and we hope that we can continue working and hopefully someday get this approved.
If you have any other members here, maybe
That's what I
they
was
could
looking
stand
for.
up and be recognized. And
Oh, Raul's here. Who's a committee member also. You want to say something? No. Oh. Okay.
all right,
Thank
no,
you.
well, thank all of you, and thank the other members of the committee, and let's see what the future holds.
Thank you, Judge. I would like to just briefly tell the court that House Bill 2475 was signed by the governor, and that has to do with the voter's oath of assistance, and they have added in, and I'm so proud to say that I am the person that approached the Texas Elections Association, and they did pursue it, and after the assistant reads the oath, then it will continue to say, and I am not the voter's employer, an agent of the voter's employer, or an officer or agent of the labor union to which the voter belongs. That was left out of the oath, and now that the assistant will oath to that, that will then bring to recall the fact that they are not the employer. Many times the judge or the workers are they're assumed to know this, and they don't know that. So now the voter assistant will have the opportunity to say that out loud. So I'm very proud of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 20, Precinct 2.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Item 28, this is Judge, Government Code 791.04 requires a court to approve a project before we enter into an interlocal. So we're asking for approval of a project to reconstruct Cesar Chavez Road in cooperation with the city of San Juan. And that's one. And the actual interlocal is approval of an interlocal to assist the city with the acquisition of right-of-way.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
Judge Commissioners, item 21A is approval of an interlocal cooperative agreement between the Hidalgo County and McAllen Independent School District for a parking lot and paving projects. There is a correction on the effective date. On it says 10th, but we're going to make it effective, obviously, the 18th, which would be today. I think that was the auditor's concern related to the agreement.
Yeah, we had a concern that the date, the document is dated June
10th?
The 10th, yeah. And court is approving it today.
And that was just to stipulate, that's the day that McAllen Independent School District approved it, but obviously this agreement will be effective today
Right.
for Hidalgo County.
Move for approval with a correction.
So how can we cure that, Steve?
You don't need to cure your action by your minutes, reflecting your minutes cures that.
Motion made and seconded to approve. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And Judge, just for the record, initially, McAllen Independent School District was getting bid somewhere around $700,000. We managed to do it with our crews for savings of over $300,000. The school district will be reimbursing the county both labor and equipment. So it's a beneficial project both for school district and materials. And materials, excuse me.
Item 22.
Morning, Judge Commissioner. Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget and Management. Item 22A is approval of revised designated applicants agent form with primary and secondary agents and the chief financial officer and certifying officer information in connection with the public assistance for the FEMA-related documentation. This is just updating the form for any of the FEMA documentation. Listing myself as a primary agent and Mr. Ray Salazar as a secondary agent.
Move for approval?
Judge, a comment regarding this item. The form designates budget officer as the primary contact and also designates the budget officer as the chief financial officer. Normally, for any grant-related activity, the county auditor is the chief financial officer or the financial officer. So I would like to recommend that the county auditor be designated as the financial officer for this grant.
And where does it, I'm sorry, I didn't understand, where does it provide that the auditor is supposed to be the agent?
Normally, by default, any grants, the county auditor is the financial officer. We compile the financial information, submit the financial reports to the grantor agencies. But in this case, you're designating the budget officer as the financial officer. And every other grant, the county auditor is the financial officer.
That's correct, Judge Commissioners. For the other grants, that has been the customary practice. However, for these FEMA reimbursement forms, we did have previously the budget officer as listed as a financial officer, and as such, we just followed the same format. So I'm recommending approval as is. If the court wishes to put Mr. Eufrasio as a chief financial officer, that's at the court's discretion, I believe.
Judge, and to that effect, I went back and looked at the form that was approved previously, it's been several years back. The form that was attached to the agenda item was blank. So you approved the blank form back then. Because I was trying to confirm whether this is a practice, but I was not able to do that because the form that is attached to the agenda item
was blank?
Didn't have anyone listed.
We might not have listed, attached the completed form.
Right.
We do have the form that was previously submitted to FEMA and to TDEM.
Now, in the past, we had issues with this when someone other than the county auditor is designated as a financial officer. We had a couple of audits where we were cited, not so much for the designation, but the fact that the information resides in the county auditor's office and the other individuals have they don't have the information. So that's why I would like to recommend that the auditor's office be designated as the financial officer. But as your prerogative, Judge.
Steve, what does the statutes require?
I don't think there's a statute that controls this. I think what controls this is the terms of the grant itself.
Judge, pardon me. Judge, I think I was designated back when we had Hurricane Dolly. And the designation is different from the other grants in that in this particular case, we were required to approve all the projects, worksheets, and there were hundreds and hundreds and thousands of project worksheets. We had to review the worksheets before they were submitted to FEMA. And we met with FEMA periodically and kept tabs on what was approved, what was rejected. I think it's a little different than the actual, like the other grants at the auditor. So for that reason, I think that's why we did it this way. Because
even if we do not designate the auditor, he'll still have an opportunity to review whatever the application is.
Absolutely. He still has to be the final sign-off. This is more like a working type of designation.
Judge, and that happens, so what this does, it creates an inefficiency because we have to compile the financial data, and that's what happens. Budget office requests for us to provide them with the financial data so they can then submit it to the grantor agency. So to me, it creates an inefficiency, but again, It's your prerogative. There's no statute that says that county auditor has to be the financial officer. It just creates an inefficiency.
All right, what's the wishes of the court?
I keep it the way it is.
Any motions either way?
Do you have any recommendations, Judge?
What do you recommend, Judge?
Well, I mean, if we place it in the budget officer, we're going to get an opportunity for that application to be reviewed, worked on by them and reviewed by the auditor. The auditor is always going to have an opportunity to look at everything.
I don't review it, Judge. Like I said, all I do is compile the data and give it to them so they can submit it to the grantor agency.
Gentlemen, what's your desire?
What do you want to do?
Well, I don't have an opposition that the auditor be involved in the process, but as they were stating before, I recalled when Dolly had hit, it was pretty labor-intensive when
Yes.
documenting and all that. I just hope that, I don't have a problem keeping it the way it is either.
Yeah, it doesn't
so-
matter. I mean, whatever.
But-
you
I
still
mean, to me,
gotta
it doesn't, it's irrelevant, so as long as it's done right.
Review it.
That's correct.
Write it.
Yeah, but I don't review, they do. They compile. That's a problem you have. I give them numbers and they compile and review, but it's up to you, whatever you want to do.
Well, if we just keep it the way it is, I mean, we have, God willing, we don't get hit with a hurricane, but in the fact that, I mean, I don't know, actually, it doesn't
That's a
matter.
motion, I'll say.
The motion is to do what again?
Motion to keep as is.
Just keep it the way it is.
All right. And the way it is, it's in the budget office.
Budget
All right,
office
those-
being the contact person and the fiscal officer.
The fiscal officer.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 22B, Judge, I'm requesting a public hearing on the 2013 Edward Burns Justice Assistance Grant, which includes the program application, program strategies, and the program narrative. If the court can open that for a public hearing?
Move for approval.
Move for approval,
You
one
gotta
and
open
two.
up, you gotta open up a hearing.
No, we got to open the public hearing.
All right, this time we would convene a public hearing on the issue of FY 2013 Edward Byron Justice Assistance Grant, program application, strategies, and narrative. Anyone here that desires to speak in favor of or in opposition or make any comments?
Judge, just to put a little bit of description on this grant application is for an amount of $56,980. These funds will be used to fund the salaries and fringes of the court coordinator and the bailiff for the auxiliary courts, which provide relief to the district courts in hearing criminal cases. And we'll be submitting the program application strategies and the narrative soon, and this documentation on the public hearing to the
All
grantor.
right, any
upon approval.
comments by anyone? If not, we're going to close this public hearing. Proceed to item B2.
Item 2 is discussion, consideration, review, and approval of the program application, strategies, and narratives for the fiscal year 2013 Edward Burns Justice Assistance Grant.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 22C.
Item 22C is a little bit of housekeeping for fiscal year 2012. I'm requesting approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the 2012 capital lease expenditures and appropriation of those same funds in fiscal year 2012 in the total amount of $654,878.23.
So moved for 1 and 2.
Second. on
Those
one,
in
two.
favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Thank you. Item 23, purchasing.
Get in. Yes, for this item here, this one, B2. Yes, Martha Salazar for the Purchasing Department. Nothing to report or action to be taken on 23A, 1, 2, 8, B, and C respectively. Going to item 3, A3, this is requesting to declare a surplus for the purposes of destruction through the assistance of the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, 3 point-blank body armor, 2 Blue Shield body armor, and 1 portable breath tester detailed in the exhibit attached.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
A and B.
Item B, requesting authorization to remove.
Just a
said-
minute, we didn't vote. Those in
I'm sorry.
favor, say aye. It's the 3A.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
A and B.
Yeah, I said A and B.
Oh, and that was to both A and B, Marty, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay. All right, thank you. Item B1, Precinct 2, acceptance and approval to execute an on-call professional engineering services contract with Millennium Engineering Group, construction materials testing for all projects for Precinct 2. This is, the only thing pending is subject to the insurance form, that it properly have the year on the same line. There is a fragmented number on the second line, but that will be reviewed by legal counsel before we execute the agreement.
So
The
moved,
form of
subject-
agreement is fine,
Subject to.
Subject to legal review?
right. On the form
Second.
of agreement
Those in
for the
favor,
insurance.
say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
And then item 2 is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under 262-024A4, a professional for professional services.
Move for approval. Oh,
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The 3 firms graded and evaluated are HLH at 89, Leonel Garza Jr. at 97, and Professional Appraisal Services at 94. Does the court wish to grant them in the order of those scores?
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Marty, in the past, we've normally shown the scoring grids on the agenda.
It's just that the way I was out, and it's just the way, but it is attached.
Oh, okay.
I'm reading
Perfect.
off of
No,
it,
no,
so
no,
there
that,
is.
I have no problem.
Yes, but we will try to, I'll remind the person that put it on. The item C is authority to commence negotiations with the number 1 of Leonel Garza Jr.
Move for approval.
Leonel Garza?
But we don't know who it is, though, do we?
Yeah.
Can't-
It's Leonel Garza, right?
I asked if the court wished to rank them in the order of their scores, and I thought you'd voted on it.
All right.
I guess Judge
Did I
wanted for you
miss
to
it?
read him out.
Did I? Oh, yes, I did read them out. At HLH, 89, Leonel Garza at 97, and Professional Appraisal Services at 94.
Move for approval of item 2B, identifying the... Oh, we did.
Second.
Okay.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That being said, item C, the ranking being Leonel Garza at 97, item 2 is Professional Appraisals at 94, and HLH Appraisals at 89. We ask authority to commence with the number 1 ranked of Leonel Garza.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That is all I have. Thank you.
Pursuant to 551-071 and 072, need a motion to proceed to executive session.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. It's 11:28, we're going to be in executive session. Item 25A.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. Sorry, I'm trying to find my agenda here. 25A, real estate, no action. 25B, pending potential, no action as it relates to litigation. 25C, claim of Edinburgh Real Estate Network will proceed as directed. 25D, civil number 713 CV 00282 Benito Gutierrez v. Hidalgo County Irrigation, and AC Cuellar. Judge Commissioners, I'd like to refer back to items 7A1 and 2. Item 7A1, I'm requesting exemption from the competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code, Section 2620224A4. That would be a professional service for the provision of legal services, representation in connection with litigation.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay, item 7A2, requesting engagement with the firm of Atlas Hall and Rodriguez for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation. Authority submitted a letter of engagement, specifically, as I mentioned earlier, Benito Gutierrez versus Hidalgo County et al.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Anything else?
Whether you're going to give me a letter of engagement?
Yes,
in a
yes,
particular-
yes, sir.
Thank you.
I have no further items, Judge
Need a
Commissioners.
motion to adjourn?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Oye, vas a estar...